Listen to me, the number one form of lead generation, if they've been in business longer than 12 months and you show up, they are no longer doing it. Guess what you've got to do? Get them to start it again. Poof, you've got a ready-made lead and profit machine. And that'll stand up like not 80, like 90, over 90% of the time. Upsell, downsell, cross-sell. Talked about this to death today, and over the, you guys do the 10K training with Adrian. You hear all about this. So powerful though. Couple little spins on it. Okay, so let's say that I sell swimming pools for a living. Okay, so it's 50 grand for a pool. You can't, like you say, look, the 50 grand's not happening, right? Well, there's probably a decent chance the reason you're not buying the pool is not because you don't want it, because I can see the 3 kids running around the backyard, it's because you can't afford it. So what would be the next best thing? What about we come in and put in a jacuzzi, right? Well, if you've got 3-year-old kids, you know that a jacuzzi with cold water can be just as fun as a swimming pool, right? It's not quite as cool, but it is what it is, right? With 3-year-old kids, and the kids are going to get a bit older, and then we can worry about that later. So you downsell, so they can't afford the 50 grand. You sell them a pool with your downsell. The pool company is not doing this, I guarantee it. Now, you just put in a jacuzzi, and the guy was super keen for a pool, but he couldn't afford it. Well, do you want to let the dog off the leash? Well, no. Guess what? This is why you need to be selling chlorine. You need to be servicing the jacuzzi. You do it for a fee. You do it for free. I don't give a crap. I want to show up 4 times a year, whether it's for free, but guess who's showing up? A salesman in overalls. And guess what I'm doing there? And by the way, always have to get the signature of the manager, of the owner, of mom and dad, okay? So basically the idea is that I'm coming 4 times a year to service the jacuzzi, open it, close it, that sort of stuff. But really, in the jacuzzi, you're not really closing it, right? But you're providing it chlorine and that sort of stuff and servicing, giving it a good clean, because every jacuzzi should, have that a couple times a year. Well, when you're back, guess what you're doing? You're another opportunity to sell them the 50 grand pool. But if you put in the jacuzzi and then you leave them and never speak to them again, it's not happening, correct? That's your drip campaign. That's like your follow-up, but it's a maintenance program, okay? And then, by the way, you do like a referral program. If you own a pool, now you forked over the 50 grand, and let's say it's my backyard, and your kids are over at my place, and I invite you over for a hot dog and a beer or what have you, right? We're sitting around the pool. Guess what you're thinking? And guess there's probably to a decent degree that I'm encouraging you to buy a pool, correct? Well, when you buy a pool from us, we have a referral program with rank recognition prizes money. We'll write you a $5,000 check for all of your buddies that buy a pool. You got salesmen on steroids. Works incredibly well. But the maintenance program is how the whole thing gets going. Okay, like that man done that with like tons of different industries. Heavy machinery. It's like, well, how often these things break down? Never? Okay, beautiful. Charge them $5,000 for a lifetime guarantee. But contingent on that, we have to be able to come 4 times a year, check the oil, kick the tires, check the air pressure in the tires, get a signature from the manager before we leave. If you can afford a $100,000 machine, the reason you've done it is to replace staff, guaranteed. There's a ridiculously good chance there's some other machinery that you could use around the place. And if that's working very, very well, we have a better relationship, lots of rapport. You're probably going to buy one of my other solutions off me or my sales guys. So a maintenance program, work incredibly well for your clients. A checklist. Okay, done. Car wash. Okay, working with a car wash. You're going in, you're standing there, just imagine there's 10 cars lined up, you're the 5th one, you get a little bit closer to the top, and guess who shows up? A salesman in overalls with a checklist this time. And guess what he asks you? Do you want the tires done? Do you want the rims done? Do you want Armor All? Do you want me to clean the interior? Do you want me to do this shampoo? Well, you just take a $25 car wash and turn it into, up to a $100 sale. And the magic is when you drive out at 100, like a car that's been, you ever cleaned your car like insanely clean? Make you feel better?
Yes.
Ever cleaned your office that's just like spick and stink and span? You feel better? When you leave, you just spent $100 and you feel stinking great. They're coming back without question. But the magic is you just took a $25 sale and you significantly jacked it up. How did you do it? With a checklist. You can get anybody to stand there and their job is, do you want Armor All? Shut up. Do you want the tires done? Shut up. It's so simple. You got a guy, a company that does birthday parties, and they sell balloons and that sort of stuff. Hands up if you got kids, and then you've had a birthday party, right? All the parents with kids. Just 5 minutes before the party, what are you thinking? Oh my gosh, I forgot the streamers, I forgot this, I forgot that. Running back to the store, or the kids miss out. A checklist, instead of spending $25 on some stuff, they're spending $100 on a whole bunch of crap and stuff that makes it a better party, by the way. boom, including a clown and that sort of stuff that they never would have thought of that jack up the price significantly. So checklist can be a really cool tool for getting your clients massive results. Joint ventures, again, you guys know this one incredibly well. But what you can also do is let's say that I sign up a realtor and then I'm sitting and we're like, well, you should align with a mortgage broker. Well, like when I go sit with a mortgage broker, I'm like, look, I've got the perfect realtor that I can partner you with. So why don't you sign up? And then she works with me as well, and I'll line the two of them up. So you can use it as a conversion tool to get the deal done. So you're the one forming the joint venture for your clients. And joint ventures just aren't for us. And as old school and normal as it is for us in this room, it's completely revolutionary to the average small business owner. They're like, joint what? Explain. And they love it. Innovation, again, kind of, just like, Adrian and I were working incredibly hard on building out the software. It's not by accident, and if those of you that have seen it know, it's incredibly cool. Bottom line is innovation. Things like the drive-through. There was a stage like McDonald's invented the drive-through. Didn't exist. What an unbelievable innovation. Your clients are going to be able to do that kind of stuff. It can also provide, when you do it well, it can provide some incredible licensing opportunities for your client. This can be a unicorn where a contingency is worth talking about, not just a conversion tool, but it's like wow, I want to get involved in this business, and you can help them with, the paperwork and that sort of stuff that goes through. Advertising, again, you guys know this one. Guys, you notice that what I'm really doing is just going through the 8, steps that we do in $10,000 training with a little bit of a twist. But advertising, ultimately, your client, in many, many cases, is going to say, oh, no, we don't advertise. We just grow on word of mouth or referrals. If that's what your client says, that's what you say, you got to be ashamed of yourself. Your client needs to be ashamed of themselves, because you could grow at a multiple of 10 almost immediately by understanding and being willing to write a check of, $300, $500, $1,000, $3,000 for some ads. Turning advertising into profit is like the magic pill. Right? So again, advertising, so getting your clients advertising and comfortable with it, like understanding. Remember my saying from the last one? Everybody hates advertising until they need to sell their own car, right? Use that with your client. Just, like I said, just use it, memorize it. You'll be blown away at how well that could work. People are like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. They're crazy not to be advertised. They'll spend $300, take the kids to the movie on the weekend, but they won't spend $300 to, potentially have a lead generation source and a way to make the phone ring for the next 100 years if it works, right? Build an asset with the back end, guys. Like, if you have a pool company and then you dig the hole and charge them $50,000, and then there's, say, $15,000 of profit there for you, and then you go find your next sucker, can you sell that? No, let me tell you, it's not happening, right? There's nothing, Frank, agreed? It's not happening. But if you have a business and you've got 500 clients buying chlorine, and they just call and you dispatch and drop off the chlorine, is that a business that you can sell? Absolutely, right? So you've got recurring, like again, I don't want to sell dogs, I want to sell dog food. If your dog dies, I'll buy you a new one, right? Okay? So again, recurring income, guys, right? That's where... What's that? Yeah, no, I'll pick a really kick-ass dog, and he's going to be big, and he's going to have massive poops in the backyard, and I'll apologize, but this guy's going to eat, and he's going to have slobber, and I'm going to love it.
A billionaire told me once, he said that I was trying to figure out a way, and this is a self-made billionaire.
Yep.
He said, I kept trying to figure out a way I could work where every hour I worked would pay me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great...
way of looking at it. Hence the fact that I love it. Hence became a billionaire, by the way. So it works. But build this, guys, again, making sure that you're building something that you can ultimately sell, and building this with your clients. Because this is, to Tori's point, this is where the contingency means something. I mean, I put it up here as a conversion tool intentionally, right? It's designed to get you the $2,000 a month clients, and there will be some unicorns, but understand it's a conversion tool over most else. Okay, but by the way, there's going to be unicorns and there's going to be home runs, right? But I just, to think that you're going to sign up 10 coaching clients and the contingency is going to be amazing each time, I'm sure it's happening for somebody, not me, and it's borderline realistic. So build an asset, build it, and they will come. If I was a coach and I wanted to go take on a niche, and by the way, what's that movie that's called? Field of Dreams. Say you build it and they will come. If I put it right, is that how they say it? Build it and they will come, right? So idea being, like, if I was a mortgage broker and I was looking to go out there and build my business, you know what I would do? I would find somebody great like us, and I would say, hey, do you have a system for a realtor? Because most mortgage brokers want a system for a mortgage broker, which is totally understandable, right? But if I was a mortgage broker, I would want a system for a realtor. Why would that be? Exactly. So I want to put him on steroids and thinking just, coddle him, drive him wherever he wants to go, whatever, because this guy can send me more business than I can handle. If I'm a coach, before I started, I'm going to take on a niche. I'm going to take on the pool business, right? And by the way, the average pool company, to be clear, the guy who owns it, you can kind of picture him. He's got dirty fingernails and pretty rough around the edges and this sort of stuff, right? So you will say to him, look, man, you need to be selling diving boards and slides and change rooms and, chlorine and that sort of stuff. You say, oh, yeah, look, we sell that stuff. And the chlorine, he doesn't want to know about it. He doesn't want to know about dispatching a secretary and that sort of thing. Drives him crazy, right? Okay, so Bill Day would come. So if I was going to take on the pool company as my niche, quote unquote, I would go into my little mud hut, right? And I would build a marketing system for the pool companies, and then I would go out to market. As opposed to the way most people do, they kind of just work it out as they're going, which there'll be a little bit of that anyways. What I'm saying is I want to go out there. If I'm working with you and you need a business card, I don't want to start with a blank piece of paper. If I'm working with you and you need a website, I don't want to start with a blank sheet of the web and start, building the website from scratch. I don't want to have a template and a bit of an idea as to what it's going to look like. Build it and they will come is what I'm getting at. I'd want to have the stuff done before I got started. And hence, again, people vote with their feet. Just look at what we do. Right. So anyway, so that again, just in terms of making it a little bit easier. So, real simple, guys. People love to buy, but hate being sold to. Okay. Big Al, could you do me a favor? Could you hand out some that stuff? Money? Yeah. Yeah. Cash. Rivers. What's that? Being great. That's the way I like it. What ad hoc. Okay, beautiful guys. What you're looking at here, guys, how about this? Everything that we just described, what if we could help you join a recession-proof multi-billion-dollar industry? That sound a little bit entertaining to any of us? Remember 2008, how badly people got hurt? Well, the magic is that nobody, needed, folks that look like business coaches and consultants more than that year than ever before. How would you like to never have to worry about running out of money in retirement? Because again, you're going to be able to be a business, basically be able to earn some recurring revenue for the rest of your life, and you're going to be doing stuff like what we're doing here, hanging out with business coaches. Operate virtually, which is obviously what we do. Face to face and that sort of stuff, no longer necessary. Therefore, able to maximize your time. What if the number of times I've spoken to a coach that struggled with, I know I need a niche, 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 I don't have a damn niche, right? What if I picked it for you? How does that sound? What about if everything was systemized before you started? It was done, ready to rock and roll. What if it provided recurring and legit passive income? And note, passive income's not first, it will be recurring income first and ultimately become passive income, but no problem. I own investment properties, that sort of stuff. I know that when toilets, bust and that sort of stuff, you need to show up, and there was nothing passive about it at the time. But this is money that, down the track will become passive. Provides you a world-class $2 million e-learning system, quote unquote, and profit acceleration software. And what about a world-class team to be able to help you? Sound like something that might be of interest? So what you guys are looking at, the forum, what we're looking for are some partners. In fact, we have some of them here. Can I get Andy, Doug, Larry, and Rivers? Could you guys stand up for me? And just real quick, Larry, you've been a printer for X amount of time. We obviously just went through an exercise today. Larry, should every printer on planet Earth, notwithstanding graphic designer, work very closely with them, use the e-learning system and have a coaching division? Absolutely. Doug, every accounting firm and bookkeeping firm on planet Earth, using the e-learning system and having a coaching consulting division? Absolutely. No question. And by the way, Dougie, very successful accountant looking to sell his firm. What do you want to do for the rest of your life as you ride off into the sunset? You want to be doing coaching. See, this is it. He wants to be helping folks, right? He doesn't want to be doing accounting anymore. He wants to be doing this stuff. Andy, you're with us. How many guys do you got signed on? 18. 18? Got 18 folks underneath them, right? Boom, using it. Rivers, you signed up 10 in 90 days, was it not? you remember, was that what it was? Like straight out of the gates, 100 miles an hour. So the nuts and bolts of it, guys, opportunity is here. In fact, Adrian, so basically what we're looking for is we're looking for some partners for this incredibly handsome man here and myself. And I'm a little better looking though, aren't I? Like, a little bit shorter. But okay, so basically, guys, here's the opportunity. The second page, become a territory owner. You guys won't have this ability, like you won't have the option of jumping straight into this, and that you need to put some runs on the board. Again, been in licensing and franchising way too long. I'm not going to put anybody, not going to put us, and I'm definitely not going to put you in a position where you could kind of let yourself, not so much let yourself down, but for it not to work. Not interested in that at all. So really, we can get to that later, but there are some, make no mistake about it, there are some unbelievable opportunities and some opportunities to own, a very large chunk. And as you can see, we're growing all the time. You've seen the innovation that we come up with, Adrian's presentation not too long ago, and some of the other stuff that you've heard about, like profit acceleration software and whatnot. There's some unbelievable opportunities and something that I personally would want, that this is a very legit and very exciting opportunity. If you come back to licensing, here's what's on offer, and this is basically what we've got. You got the opportunity to come on board and effectively put 10 coaches underneath you, okay? And if you do the math, effectively what happens is we do a 70-30 split, 70 going to you guys, 30% coming to us, and the good news is that we're doing the majority of the work, right? So essentially, and if you were to look at the numbers, you charge $497 to $997 per month. If you were to sign up, you signed up 10 and you had 5 and 5, you'll see that the numbers there, recurring revenue, are going to be, and where is it? I'm sure it was here a minute ago. $4,985 per month in the skyrocket. So just help you with some math, guys. If you had 10 people at $1,000 a month, you would have $120,000 of revenue that would be happening automatically for your business. That doesn't come into our bank account, that goes into your bank account. Guess what? Really good news, now you're building an asset that you'd be able to sell. If you became a territory owner and you plugged in, let's go back to $500 a month, you plug 100 people into our system. Every accountant, every bookkeeper, every graphic designer, every social media expert, like the market dominating position in so many industries is having the e-learning system bolted onto it, and a consulting division. As Dougie said, every accountant on planet Earth has got 100, with worth his salt, let's say with 50 clients to 100 clients, which is, you're an accountant, this is what you need to have in order to operate. You've got $100,000 to $1 million consulting division just kind of sitting there, right? So with that, and by the way, the list doesn't stop there. Think any B2B professional. The guys who put together all our mugs and that sort of stuff? If you own that company, how many marketing questions do you think that they answer? What a perfect bolt-on. Again, what I say is there's already people out there with the demand and with the clients already. All they need to do is be, providing an extra value proposition on the back end. So the ability to go sign up 10 people and then ultimately 100 people, realistic and incredibly exciting. So to help you with some numbers at a territory level, if you could get 100 people signed on at $500 a month, that would be $50,000 a month, $60,000 a year of, actually $600,000, right, per year. That's an asset, that's recurring revenue. That's not like, geez, I hope somebody actually, pays next month. This is recurring revenue. It happens month after month. And again, you guys are in the system. You understand how it works. So the opportunity is a good one. And then, by the way, but you get 10 folks at $500 a month. Again, that would be $5,000, $60,000 a year. So if you guys are interested in this, and in fact, Adrian, let me throw it to you if there's anything you feel like, because ultimately what you'd be doing is partnering with this handsome son of a gun and myself.
Well, again, you guys have seen the innovation. We have no intention of stopping. We've got new rollouts coming out, new innovations that we're working on. We're hoping to get you guys an automated lead generation system. We're just waiting now for the final design so we can approve that. Those of you in the U.S., have you ever watched this show on cable called Flipping Boston? If you can, write that down. I want you to Google it. And what it is, you're going to see these two guys, they're best of friends. They went together and partnered, and they started flipping homes. If you know what that means, they go in, they rehab them, turn them, sell them. Very good at it. What they did is they created a what? They created a system. And they refer to this all the time. They call it the flipping formula. And one time they got off it, and they said, dude, you're not following the formula. I said, I know, it was my fault. And they went right back, and every time they follow this formula, what they do is they'll spend 6 to 8 weeks flipping a home. Most of the work they hire out, but they're there to supervise it and keep an eye on things. One of the guys actually does some of the work. But they'll flip a home, and they'll make about, $80,000 to $100,000. Now, how many weeks? 6 to 8. So we figure they do maybe 6 homes in a year. That's how they started out. Making good money. I mean, that's, $500,000, but it's split how many ways? 2. So they're making $200,000, $250,000. Not bad, but it's still a big risk. Anybody know what they're doing now? Now they're teaching others how to do the flipping formula. They said, wait a minute, why are we killing ourselves? Let's go advertise that we'll teach others how to do it. They're taking rooms 10 times this size and filling it to the brim. And what they do is they pay like $3,000 to come in for like 2 days over a weekend to learn the formula. Then they charge $30,000 if you want our one-on-one assistance. Then they get these guys to invest their money, and they use that to go out and buy the homes that they flip. They're making millions. And here's the thing is you guys can come in on the ground floor with Karl and I and do the same thing, and we hand you the system. You don't have to go out and invent it. We've already got it figured out. Everything's in place. It's just like you signed up a coach the day before you left, didn't you, Andy? You know what he did? He sent me an email and said, what? Train him. Here's their training dates. Adrian, they're yours. And I train them, and I give them back to Andy, and Andy says, get your ass out there, and here's what you do, and start making me money. And they're making money. So that's what's on the table here for you guys. We'd love to have you, because you guys are the cream of the crop. We want to work with people that take action. And have you shown that by being here? You're action takers. That's what we look for.
Fabulous. Okay, so guys, so if you want to get together, if this is something you're interested in, grab me here and we'll set up a time to chat. Excuse me, said some water, go down the wrong hole. It's good timing. Okay, so excellent, guys. Look, thanks so much for the presentation. Any questions here before we sign off? But the bottom line is, if you want to chat, basically just grab me here. We'll set up a time over the next, ideally probably later tonight or probably tomorrow, and we'll rip through it. So that's what we've got. Yes.
What's the interrelationship between options 1 and 2? How do you see that working?
You're going to need to put some runs on the board in option number 1, right? So that you feel comfortable. Not so much about us. It's about you feeling comfortable. And then it'll be like, well, where do you live and what's the population, and just kind of working out.
Like option 2, say somebody signs up as a territory owner, option 1 then becomes a non-option for anybody in that territory. Is that how it works?
Sorry, say that. Ask me again.
Well, supposing I'm province of Ontario.
Yep.
Somebody becomes an LPW territory owner.
Yep.
But another LPW coach can then no longer, the options are closed.
Yeah. No, you would own the territory, and then you'd be bringing on the guys doing the 10 underneath you. Does that make sense?
Nobody can come into your territory.
Yeah. But if they would, they'd be underneath you. They can. You're going to want them to.
The question is, if you're in option 1,
Yep.
okay, and you've got 15 coaches under you, and now somebody comes in and gets the territory,
Oh.
what happens, what relationship do you have with the new
Okay.
territory owner? And how do you get compensated?
Thank you,
How does
Frank.
each one now
Good
get
job.
compensated?
This is one of those ones that let's have a look at the numbers that are there, but really what we would do is we would keep our clients, and then from that day forward, you would then look after it. The same way, it's a very standard in franchising, right? So you would maintain, like we would maintain the guys who have signed up, and then from that day, when you sign the paperwork, everybody you sign up from that day forward go. Or we would package them up and say, well, look, we're bringing in, $30,000 a month. If you want to buy that from us, we will then put those guys underneath you, but then it would be your job to manage them. Does that make sense?
But now you got 2 tiers of compensation where before you had to. It's a little complicated, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just at the end of the day, if there were like a few people, 4 people in Ontario,
Let's be very
they would
clear.
continue to pay us.
Dave and I are here. We're
Yep.
both Ontarians.
Yep.
Does he rush
You
out
would
and get
stay-
a territory, or do I rush out and get the territory?
Yeah. Well, scarcity. Hey, Dave, you better hurry up, bud. You heard? He's hot to trot. He's hot to trot. Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, so Dave would continue to be you bought it. Dave would continue to be our client, and then you would own the territory, and then Dave would continue to pay us and work underneath us, and then from that day
Yeah,
forward.
but now they're
Okay, let's
competing
take
with
the
each other.
scenario a little bit further, Carl.
Why? He's signed. He's not.
He's got his group, they're protected.
Yep.
Right? He comes in, he's gonna bring new people, he owns the territory.
Yep.
But he's gonna try to bring on people too.
Yep.
So they're competing.
But keep in mind, and Dave is not limited.
Coach, he's gonna be bringing on business owners
Yeah.
wherever
Okay,
globally.
but-
George would be a territory owner bringing on coaches.
I buy the Ontario territory.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
They
Oh,
go ahead and get.
They're not going after the same group.
Okay.
Yeah.
If one person
We've got a
got a
license,
conversation.
another person owns a territory, and it's the same territory.
Yep.
And the person who's already bought a license, what happens? Two things, if someone buys a territory, you can't buy a license, and if someone buys a license and then someone buys the territory, what happens to the person who bought the license?
The way it would probably work, Werner, is whoever is the licensee to start, then they've got the option to buy the territory. Because we're not gonna put a territory owner in there until they're a licensee.
Yeah. Until we're comfortable that they're going to be able to do the numbers and whatnot to because you just, we don't want to put you in a position where you're running a territory without having some runs on the board. But to put simply, though, again, so you own the territory. Anybody who's currently operating will operate underneath us. But keep in mind, they're not limited. Like if Dave had a license, he's not limited to sell in Ontario. He can sell outside. But if you own the territory, you're going to be insanely motivated to go sign people up in Ontario. The printers, the social media guys, the business coaches, etc.
Let me just be very clear.
Can you?
Let me
Yeah.
try to be clear.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
I buy a territory, Ontario.
Yep.
Can Dave then subsequently pursue option one licensing LPW?
Underneath you, he's in Ontario. He's in your market.
Oh, but outside then it's.
So the other
Yeah.
point that I think you were asking that I'm curious about, so let's say they both buy the option for 10 licenses.
Yep.
So, and then one of them gets the territory. Does the other person have an option to get any more licenses? Do you know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
the original 10, can they do 20? Can they do
Underneath
30?
him. Underneath
So
him.
the next 10.
Yes,
have
next
to
time would have to be, yes. He would be in his market. Okay, there you go. I think, but because that would be another sale though, right? Be clear, it's not the existing one. He'd still continue to pay us. And then if he wants to buy 10 more, he'd be, well, George owns the territory, that's your address, you're going straight to him. Make it clear? What's that?
One of you needs to move.
Yeah,
Like any franchising agreement, right? It
Yep.
would be a good idea to put something together that says, here's the, guys.
got one conversation
Guys,
now, so
please.
it's too many.
Guys,
How much does he get? How much do they get? Do they split the 30%?
it might be a good idea, like, have like an FDD that outlines exactly, you know, when you've
Have-
got license or you move to a territory, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Because this gets complex.
I well and
We
truly
all
know.
day, And I need to go to the bathroom. Right, but just we'll just get it in writing so everyone.
Yeah, well, have it,
Wish
have
we
it.
would, but guys, remember, the only thing on the table right now is just licensing.
It's just licenses.
Yeah.
What's the cost of licensing? Is there no cost?
That-
That's
yeah,
right, we're gonna
that's what
sit
we'll
down
talk
one to one and we'll go through it all. Yeah. Cool? Penny boy. What's that, sorry? Territory restrictions on the licenses? Yes. Yeah, licenses anywhere. No territory whatsoever. But if you own the territory, there is. That's a completely different ball of wax. Yeah.
It really should be a no-brainer. You've got 99% of businesses that don't have a coach yet.
Yeah.
It's 99% upside. And all
Yeah.
these little things to worry about are nothing compared to the upside.
Yeah. Agreed, boss.
Sorry, just a question clear up. So if you've got two franchises.
Yep.
Who are recruiting coaches.
Yep.
Like Andy in one area. If one of them takes territory, does the other one have to stop doing business? Because
No, not at all. No.
Buy it through this guy.
they buy it through their.
Yes.
He's the main.
Because he
franchise.
runs the
So it
territory.
just shows you the chain of relationship.
Yeah, that's it.
So the 30% that used to go to LPW.
Go to him.
From the licensee,
Correct.
does that 30 get split between LPW?
There, we
and
will,
the guy, or-
those numbers are going to be adjusted, yes. Yeah.
It just, the easy way to think about this, guys, is if you're a territory manager, you become LPW.
is the way I look at it. So,
Yeah.
so anyone who's operating in your territory, you're now paying into LPW.
Yep. But at the end of the day, though, that's not, but it's not on the table anyway. I wouldn't, but notwithstanding, it's a good idea to know, where we're going to go. But the 10 licenses, yeah.
But I used to have an action coach license franchise.
Yeah.
They tried to do this and they didn't
Yeah.
think it through, and it was a mess.
Yeah, well, hence why the territory is not there. The territory is not on offer. The reason why it was a mess, I mean, there's they also charge $80,000 up front. The back end's $1,500 plus, plus, and that's why it's a mess, to be clear.
Once you had you had to buy X number of licenses in addition to your franchise fee.
Yeah.
You had to, okay, we'll talk.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, no,
it's a
well,
concept, but
yeah. We've already, yeah, but to be clear, I've franchised a company before, right? Like I understand you're saying I got 50, I got documents. What's it? No, that's the beauty. Franchise is a three-legged stool. You've got a brand, you've got upfront fee, and then you've got ongoing royalties, right? So there's no brand. And basically, so you just knock one of the legs off the stool, and then you're a license instead of a franchise. But it is a license. Yeah.
I wanted to add something to the conversation. Nothing to do with what we're talking about. I got a question from a couple of people earlier about being a guest on my radio show.
Yep.
Hey, just to be clear, there's no cost for you to be on my radio show.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay? No cost. That's number one. You want to hear the station that it's on. It's called revealingtalkradio.com. You can go to the site. You can listen there. There's also a mobile link I can provide you. Just you can send me a text and I can send you back the mobile link. The mobile link will work on any phone anywhere in the world. We can touch it over 300 phones because it does not need an app.
Okay,
That
beautiful.
being said, the other thing I just wanted to say is the whole 2-3 days here, guys, to me, has been fantastic, and I wanted to give a great shout out to Karl.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's very quickly go and.